Welcome, everybody. It's Innovation Alley podcast live from Innovation Alley. Chris Johnson, your host, with Carrie Stevenson.
Howdy.
And we also have Ben Myers here to talk CakeWalk.
Yes. Ben, what the heck is CakeWalk?
So CakeWalk is a app that publicly shames you into doing exercise. So the idea is you download the application, it tracks your steps throughout the day, and gives you a goal throughout the day based on your previous step counts. If you fail your goal, the app will shame you on Twitter.
And it should.
So what actually comes out on Twitter? What does it actually say?
So we have a huge bank, I think, of about 250 responses that we put together, and they're kind of scathing. I would admit. I guess, and it increases in severity depending on how many steps you do throughout the day.
I like algorithmic motivation on shaming.
How do you not do that? Like, I guess you have to do the exercise, right?
You have to do the exercise. Yeah, it gives you a step count goal. If you hit it, you're good. If you don't, you get shamed.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Ben, we first met you. I first met you at Ramp Up Weekend number.
I think it was seven.
Okay,
yeah.
so not the last one, the one before.
Right.
And you guys strolled in, you came up with this concept, you won, yes?
Yes, we did, yeah.
So the idea was loved. And I have to tell you, I actually remember sitting with the judges during deliberations.
Right.
It was like an hour and a half deliberation. It was the most obscenely long deliberation that we've ever had.
Right.
And you came out victorious.
Yeah.
So what happened the next day? Like, here we are, that was maybe 6 months ago?
Yeah.
A year ago?
So we actually managed to get a prototype set up that weekend. The developers worked pretty hard. We actually had an app installed on our device, so that was pretty fun. And then myself and then another guy was working on more of the business aspect of it, getting the deck prepped. So the next day, we got the funding and started working on it in our spare time, and actually got it a bit of additional funding from my boss, MJ, from Robots and Pencils, so that was fantastic.
Congrats.
We managed to take this from the prototype stage to an actual finished product and put it on the App Store.
How do you monetize it? Do you have to buy the app?
It's a free application to download. The original idea was that we would allow the users to skip a challenge if they wanted to, so that they wouldn't get publicly shamed on Twitter.
Oh, so you have to pay your way out of the shame.
You have to pay your way out of the shame, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And truthfully, I mean, not many people have been doing that.
Shameless.
So
you've been learning. You tried it, and now you.
Well, that's exactly it. You want to try and validate your hypothesis, right? And the hypothesis was that people would be paying for that, but the reality is people don't really care. They find it funny. In fact, when I shame them on Twitter, I'm finding it's beneficial because they're retweeting, their friends are retweeting, and it just kind of explodes from there. So we've managed to get about 10,000 people in the last week
Holy smokes.
on the app. So that's been really good. Yeah.
Wow, that's exponential. Congrats.
Now, I understand you didn't do like a Kickstarter or anything like that,
No.
but yet you've somehow achieved 10,000 people. How did you get there? Like, what did you do to?
So we did a launch on Product Hunt, so that helped out quite well. We actually got on the front page of Product Hunt. A lot of feedback there. Got some really big blogs like Design Taxi and Uncrate, which kind of design focused blogs.
Yep.
And from there, just kind of it blew up, and I guess blew up in a relative sense.
Yeah.
But 10,000 users I think is quite good for first week. So yeah.
So what's the next step? So you've got 10,000 users. You're still tweaking a revenue model.
Yeah.
So people can download this app, use it for free.
Yeah.
It's tracking my steps. It's sharing it on a Twitter board and leaderboard, so I can see what my friends are doing, which is cool. So there's social viral there. Mm-hmm. What are your next set of hypotheses? What are your next stabs to try and commercialize? So
our goal is to gain user growth, so that we can use this data and sell it off to potentially a fitness company, much like Under Armour. Fitbit. It turns out in our research that majority of the apps that actually do quite well in this category are sold off eventually for the data to these bigger companies. They just want to have access to this type of data, it seems. And so there's pretty big acquisitions that have happened over the last few years with these types of apps. So really, just the goal is to gain users at this point.
So is this subject to, I guess what they call the January effect, where like people decide, hey, let's get our gym membership, the New Year's resolution, and then like 3 weeks later, they're back with the Doritos.
Right, yeah.
What happens here?
That was a big part of the strategy, was actually launching in the early parts of January to take advantage of that. If you look at Google Trends, fitness apps on Google Trends, huge spike early January, and then it kind of trickles
off. I see that at the gym. Like, no treadmills January. You can run on 17 treadmills at once in February if you want.
Yeah. So it was exactly that, and kind of positioned our release around that. So it was a very strategic.
That worked
move
out
in
well
way.
for you.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Now, you guys, I understand you guys are all doing this on the side, like it's part-time, and I guess that goes with the monetization challenges at the moment.
Right.
But so where do you see that going?
I think that there's a bunch of ways that we can go here. I think building out the features to try and gain users, and then once users are kind of connecting with their friends and they're using the app more often, we're going to try and leverage some other opportunities which are kind of based around geolocation. So we wanted to build a ad platform actually for fitness companies to integrate their kind of products within the messages that are
So like
being
the new
sent
Good
out.
Life opens and I'm in that area of the city, it'll push me notice.
That's right, and kind of position like the funny messages around that particular business. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So that was one of our
Someone
ideas.
walked right by that Good Life grand opening. Okay?
Right.
Yeah.
Or even, it can detect that their nearest fast food restaurant, step away from the cheeseburger, stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't go to the gym, but did go to Wendy's.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna know why those are coming up in your Twitter feed soon enough, Gary.
Yeah.
So okay, so you guys are kind of doing this as a side project. In your minds, where's the point where it's time to take this more seriously? Do you have a concept of where and what's the order of operations for you guys to sort of start jumping into the core business?
Yeah, it's gaining users and then gaining retention. Once we hit that point where we have retention and people are using the application, we can start integrating these more revenue type models inside the application. Right now, I don't feel like it's at a point where our users would really like that. And in all honesty, we have this opportunity where we can build it in our spare time. We're not really constrained by funds with the opportunities we've been given by our boss, Michael.
Right.
So honestly, it's just kind of it's a pet project right now. It's just we're having fun. So.
Awesome. It sounds like you're exploring the space and finding out all kinds of interesting stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
I think this whole idea of like the funny messages is probably usable in other applications too.
Absolutely. Yeah. We get requests from people
Like homework shaming for kids.
Yeah, homework. It was they wanted we started building a Apple TV app actually. It's kind of a reskin of the 7-minute workout, and so the idea is that the cake that I don't know if people on audio won't be able to see it, but there's a cake that walks.
They probably
on the
already
screen.
downloaded the app.
Maybe they've downloaded
Let's
the
be
app,
fair.
but so it's basically a reskin of that app, and it shows the cake doing all these funny exercises like squats and push-ups and things. And so we're going to put that on the Apple TV App Store and see how that plays out.
See, what it should do is when I'm like in my 7th hour of my Netflix marathon, the cake should just walk out on the side and be like, okay, seriously, time to do some sit-ups, right? That's what I need it to do for me.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
So this is really exciting. 10,000 users is something to be celebrated for sure. I like that you guys are making some guesses. You're testing it. You're making data-driven decisions, right? And you're in a great position because you get to build a base, and you'll know when it's time to jump out and start building revenue in, but you're not sort of hung up and you have a clock ticking down.
That's right.
Right? That's,
yeah.
Because we see an awful lot of startups go that way, and it can crush them.
Yeah, that's totally it. And yeah, we have a very unique opportunity here where we can just kind of do it in our spare time. So I'm not too worried about forcing the revenue models on our users right now. So I think it's just more making the app fun. And
so so if you could right now say to the audience of tens of people,
right?
Okay, how can they help you? How can you help CakeWalk be successful?
Oh yeah, just download the application. Let us know what you think of it, and we're always taking feedback from users, trying to make sure that we're building the right product for them. Maybe it's even stripping out features that are not being used. But it's a relatively simple app. Like there's 3 sections of the application, but we're always trying to think of like what features would benefit them the most. And it seems like it's just kind of giving them more opportunities to connect with their friends. That seems like a common trend right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to the update where you've crossed 100,000 and million users. And Ben, this has been really cool. So I'm glad to see something coming out of the Ramp Up Weekend 7. You guys are taking a perfectly valid and a bit of a different path than some others who are pursuing the funding and everything. I'm looking forward to seeing where you guys take it.
Thanks.
So I hope you come back in a few weeks, few months, and be like, hey guys, we just crushed 1 million users.
Definitely, yeah. Hopefully that's the case.
That'd be awesome. Well, thanks for the time today.